I am, without a doubt, one of the laziest people you will ever meet. I don't own a cleaning schedule. I've never color-coded a chore chart. If cleaning required willpower, my house would look like a crime scene. And yet, my home is spotless. Not, I panic clean before you came over spotless. Actually, permanently, boringly clean. The trick isn't motivation. It's not some deep love of cleaning. It's 9 small habits I stole from Japanese homes. Habits that were never designed to make you clean more. They were designed to make mess impossible in the first place. Which is exactly what a lazy person needs, because the best cleaning habit is the one you never have to think about. So if you've ever bought the labeled bins, downloaded the chore app, watched the 2-hour deep clean video, and quit by week 2, this one's actually built for you. Let's get into it. Habit 1. The landing zone. Here's where most mess actually starts. The second you walk through the door. Keys in one pocket, mail on the counter, bag on the floor, jacket over a chair. None of that looks like mess in the moment. It just looks like 5 tiny decisions you didn't want to make. And 5 tiny decisions repeated every single day is how a hallway turns into a disaster zone. Japanese apartments solve this with one object, a single tray or shallow basket by the door. Not a system, not a set of labeled hooks for every item, one container. Everything that enters the house with you, keys, wallet, mail, sunglasses, goes into that tray before you take a single step further into the house. The genius of this isn't organization. It's that it removes the decision entirely. You're not asking, where should this go 50 times a day? There's one answer, and it's always the same answer. For a lazy person, that's the whole game. Not doing the task better, but doing it with zero thought. Habit 2, piggyback cleaning. There's a concept in Japanese homekeeping called Tsuide Sōji, cleaning while you're at it. The idea is that you almost never clean as a standalone activity. You attach a tiny cleaning action to something you are already doing. Brushing your teeth? While the water runs, wipe the sink with the hand towel. Waiting for the kettle to boil? Wipe down the stovetop while you wait. It's 30 seconds you'd otherwise spend staring at a kettle. Waiting for a page to load? Wipe your desk. This matters because the biggest lie we tell ourselves about cleaning is that it needs its own block of time. It doesn't. It needs to be duct taped onto time that already exists. You're not finding 10 new minutes in your day. You're borrowing 40 seconds 6 times from moments that were already dead time. Do this consistently and something strange happens. The big clean stops existing. There's nothing left to build up to. Habit 3, the 80% visible rule. This one is going to feel like permission, because it is. Most people burn out on cleaning because they treat every square inch of their home as equally important. The inside of the junk drawer matters as much as the coffee table. It doesn't. And Japanese minimal living culture actually leans into this. Keep the visible 80% of your home immaculate, and let the invisible 20%, drawers, cabinets, under the bed, stay imperfect without guilt. Why does this work? Because your brain judges clean almost entirely off what it can see at a glance. A spotless countertop with a slightly messy drawer underneath reads as a clean kitchen. A messy countertop with a perfectly organized drawer underneath still reads as a messy kitchen. You are not lying to yourself by focusing on visible surfaces. You're allocating your limited energy to the thing that actually shapes how the room feels. This is the permission slip lazy people need. Stop trying to be 100% clean everywhere. Be 100% clean where it's seen, and stop apologizing for the rest. Habit 4, no bend storage. Here's a question nobody asks. Why do so many things end up on the floor or the couch instead of put away? Because putting them away requires effort, usually bending down, reaching up, or opening 3 things to find space. Every extra movement is friction, and friction is the enemy of a lazy person's clean home. Clean more. Japanese storage design is obsessive about this. Frequently used items live between hip height and eye level, the zone you can reach without bending, stretching, or thinking. Things you rarely use go up high or down low, because you'll only need them once a season anyway. Even in tiny apartments, this hierarchy holds. The less friction it takes to put something away, the more likely it actually gets put away. So walk through your home right now, mentally, and ask, what keeps landing on the floor? 9 times out of 10, it's home requires more effort to reach than the floor does. Fix the height, and habit fixes itself. Not because you got more disciplined, but because you removed the excuse. Habit 5, the one clear surface rule. You do not need a clean house. You need one clean surface. This sounds like a joke, but it's genuinely how a lot of small Japanese apartments stay visually calm despite very little storage space. They pick a single anchor surface, usually the kitchen counter or the entry table, and that one surface is never allowed to collect stuff. Not mostly clear, completely clear, always. Here's why this one surface matters more than the other 10. It's what your eyes land on first when you walk into a room, and your brain uses it as a shortcut to judge the whole space. A clear counter in a slightly cluttered kitchen still feels organized. A cluttered counter in an otherwise tidy kitchen makes the whole room feel chaotic, even if technically less stuff is out of place. So instead of trying to keep every surface in your home clear, which is exhausting and unrealistic, pick one. Defend it like it's the only thing standing between you and total chaos. Because, weirdly, it kind of is. Habit 6, the Owari wipe. Owari means the end. And this habit is about what you do in the last 10 seconds of a task, not the whole task itself. Finished cooking? Before you sit down to eat, one wipe of the counter with whatever cloth is nearest. Finished brushing your hair? One swipe of any loose hair off the sink. Finished working at your desk? Close the laptop, stack the papers, done. The trick is that this isn't a cleaning session. It's the literal last motion of the task you were already doing. You don't get up later to clean. You clean on your way out as the final beat of the same action. It costs you nothing extra in time because you were about to stand up and leave anyway. Skip this step, and every single task in your house leaves a tiny footprint behind. Do it, and tasks leave 0 trace, which means there's never anything to catch up on later, because later never arrives. Habit 7, the double doormat barrier. You don't need to become a shoes-off household overnight if that's not your thing, but you can steal the principle behind why Japanese entryways stay so clean. Stop dirt at the border, not in the living room. Most homes have one thin mat by the front door that does almost nothing. Japanese entryways typically use a 2-stage barrier. One mat outside the door to knock off the bulk of the dirt, and a second one just inside to catch what's left before it ever touches your main floor. For a lazy person, this is one of the highest leverage 5-minute purchases you'll ever make, because it doesn't ask you to change a single behavior. You don't have to remember anything. You just walk in like normal, and the floor stays clean by design instead of by discipline. That's the whole philosophy of this video in one habit. Fix the system, not yourself. Habit 8, the 1-tool rule. Under your sink right now, there is probably a graveyard of half-used cleaning products. 7 different sprays for 7 different surfaces, most of them bought once and used twice. This is a decision fatigue trap. Every time you need to wipe something down, you first have to choose which product to use, find it, read the label, and decide if it's safe for that surface. That tiny moment of choosing is often the exact moment laziness wins and you just don't. So collapse it to 1. A single all-purpose cleaner and 1 microfiber cloth, kept somewhere visible, not under the sink but out, where you can grab it in 2 seconds without opening a cabinet. When there's only one option, there's no decision left to avoid. You just grab it and wipe. Habit 9, the 2-minute reset. The final habit, and arguably the one that makes everything above it stick. A 2-minute pass through the house before bed, touching only what's visible. Not a deep clean, not vacuuming, just pillows back in place, blanket folded, any stray dish into the sink, the one clear surface from habit 5 actually cleared. 2 minutes, timer on your phone if you want proof, done. Here's why this closes the loop. You're not maintaining a clean house so much as you're preventing yesterday's mess from stacking on top of today's. A home that resets every single night never has the chance to spiral because there's never more than 1 day's worth of disorder to deal with at any point. That's the difference between, I need to deep clean this weekend, and just never needing to. None of these 9 habits require more discipline than you already have. They're not asking you to become a different person. They're just removing the friction that was making the easy thing hard and the hard thing feel necessary. Pick 1. Just 1. Start tonight with the landing zone, or the 2-minute reset, and let it run on autopilot for a week before you add the next. If this actually helped, subscribe. I'm building this channel around exactly this kind of low-effort, high-impact system, and there's a lot more where this came from. Which one of these 9 are you starting with tonight? Tell me in the comments.